So what does it really mean to be rich? We're all taught it's about money, right? About the stuff you own. But today we're going to dig into a totally different kind of wealth, one that you actually can't buy or sell. We're talking about inner affluence.
So let's just jump right in with a question that might sting a little. What if your whole quest to get rich is actually making you poorer? I know, it sounds like a total paradox, right? But stick with me, we're going to unpack this.
And that contradiction, that twist, is right at the heart of what we can call the prosperity paradox.
I mean, think about it. Ever since we were kids, the message has been drilled into us. To be successful, to be prosperous, you have to accumulate things. More money in the bank, bigger house, fancier car. That's the yardstick for success that pretty much runs our world. But what if it's the wrong one?
The source material for this explainer has this incredible metaphor for this exact problem. Chasing material wealth is like drinking salt water. You think it's going to quench your thirst, but it just makes you desperately thirstier. It's this vicious cycle of always wanting more, and that becomes its own kind of prison.
All right, so if just piling up stuff isn't the real answer, what are the limits of money? Let's take a look at all the things that your wealth, no matter how much you have, simply can't buy.
Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. Just imagine a whole country where every single person is a millionaire. Everybody has all the money they could ever dream of. Sounds pretty great, doesn't it? A perfect world.
But then a devastating drought hits. There is no food to be found, not for any price. Suddenly, all those millions, all that paper in the bank, becomes completely and utterly worthless. It's a really sharp reminder of how fragile financial wealth can be when things get real.
And that really gets to the heart of it, you know? The most valuable assets in life, they just aren't for sale. You can't buy wisdom. You can't purchase inner strength or real love or virtues like compassion. These are things you have to earn through living. They are the real treasures.
So this all brings us to the main event, the core idea we're exploring today. If prosperity isn't about hoarding stuff, then what is it? It's time for a serious redefinition.
The alternative idea is what we're calling inner affluence. And this has nothing to do with your bank statement. It's a way of being. It's that deep, gut-level experience of fulfillment, that genuine feeling of having enough no matter what you own, and the self-control to not be a slave to every single desire.
Let's just put them side by side. It makes it crystal clear. Material wealth, it's all about accumulation and greed. And let's be honest, it's temporary. It can vanish in a heartbeat. But inner affluence, that's about fulfillment, about contentment. And because it's part of who you are, it's permanent. It's the one kind of wealth you can take with you anywhere.
And if you want the ultimate example of this, just look at history. Prince Siddhartha had literally everything, all the luxury, all the riches you could possibly imagine. And what did he do? He walked away from it all to find enlightenment, and he became the Buddha, a person who proved to the world that real prosperity, the lasting kind, is found inside.
And you know what's incredible? We don't have to look that far to see this principle in action. The blueprint is all around us every single day in the natural world.
Just think about a river. Does it hoard its water? No way. It just flows freely, giving life to everything it passes. Or what about trees? A tree doesn't eat its own fruit. It produces it and then just shares it. It offers nourishment to anyone and everyone. And clouds, they don't hold on to all that moisture for themselves. They drift across the sky and distribute rain everywhere, no questions asked. The entire operating system of nature is based on giving, on flow, on distribution, not on hoarding.
And that makes the way we humans often behave pretty ironic, doesn't it? The source material calls it a ghastly tendency to accumulate. While all of nature works on this beautiful, generous flow, we, the supposedly smartest creatures around, often operate on a principle of selfishly piling things up for ourselves.
And you know, nature also gives us a pretty clear warning about the dangers of hoarding. What happens to water when it stops flowing? It becomes a stagnant pond. It gets murky, breeds disease, and becomes totally unusable. That is a perfect metaphor for what happens to wealth and maybe even a person's spirit when it's just hoarded instead of being shared. Okay, so what do we do with all this? Where does this leave us? Well, that brings us to our final section, putting these ideas into practice with the art of giving. Because here's the thing, when some people focus on just accumulating endlessly, it's not a harmless hobby. It has real consequences. Hoarding resources at one end of the spectrum almost always creates deprivation at the other. And that kind of imbalance, it hurts the health and the stability of everybody, of the whole of society.
So how do we actually cultivate this inner affluence? Well, the path is actually pretty straightforward, even if it's not always easy. Step 1,
Actively resist that constant urge to just accumulate more. Step 2, use the resources you do have for good. And step 3, make a real habit of giving, whether it's your time, your skills, or your money, to help others.
And that really just leaves us with one final question to ask yourself. Every single one of us has resources: time, knowledge, money, compassion. The real question isn't how much you've got, it's what are you doing with it? Are you using your resources just to accumulate, or are you using them to truly prosper?